Welcome in. Rhonda here, and I'm so happy you're here. You may have come in on this call from looking at the Facebook invite group, or maybe from a friend because you've learned some of the things that people have been learning throughout each week. But welcome, welcome. You're going to learn a bit about me. We'll thread it through the learnings that you're going to do today so you can connect with how you're going to implement something that we're going to start this week, and we're going to be together each week. If you have people that are friends that you want to do stuff with, and you combine that with your journey of weight loss and being able to support you, I want you to invite more people in because we're going to be doing this as a group. And even if they don't make it today, the recording is going to be available, but we're going to keep building and building. This focus is how to lose 10 pounds this month, even if you failed in the past. So I have people that do the detox each quarter, and they lose weight because the detox is extremely focused and they have specific foods that they're eating. Today, what I'm going to teach you is if you've already done a detox like mine, how do you consistently keep yourself moving so you can lose the weight and do it in a healthy way? If you've been struggling for a while, I want you to be in here and stay in here because this is what's going to help declog your system. And we're going to focus on one area that's going to give you enough information so this week you're going to have some specific things to do and some strategies. So I gave you a workbook when you logged in or when you signed up. So if you didn't get that, don't worry about it. I'm going to go through what was in the workbook, but I want you to have a pen and paper ready. And once you have that, you'll be ready to go. Of course, make sure you have water and that you're ready to go today because we're going to be learning a lot. And we usually only spend an hour together. So we're going to be learning a lot. It's going to move and it's going to motivate you. I've been working on these slides to help you get centered and focused on what's important to you. So it's going to be clean and clear. So I ask you to stay focused and make sure that you have all the distractions just moved aside, and I'll get more into that. So welcome to the call. Glad that you're here. Okay, so make sure that you turn off any extra windows that you have open from the internet to silencing your phone. And I'm actually checking my phone too because I have been interacting with clients today, and sometimes it'll just start buzzing, and I just don't catch it until that happens. But you want to be clear because today we are going to be moving forward in some results, and so I want you here 100%. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a plan for you before you leave and get your mind focused. I'm going to be in a few areas here, and I'll directly tell you what you're going to be getting out of this. But I want you to be ready to get into action, to be able to move forward, to be able to have that exchange of something new, the excitement that you're ready to have this change happen. And I know we're already into 2016 and we make a lot of promises to ourselves, and sometimes we make big, big promises that takes a while to get there. Today, this is going to add into whatever promise you had for yourself with any weight loss, connecting with yourself holistically. So welcome in. Let's get into the stats because I want you to be aware of what's happening out there so that you can get that mind shift. And right now, we are eating tons and tons of sugar, and it's getting lost in and not really understanding how much sugar we're having per day. And it has a lot to do with the drinks that we're having, with the extra foods that we're having when we go out to eat, to if you're eating packaged foods, and the stuff that makes our food right now, you may think makes it taste good. So if you're eating a lot of whole foods, I want you to really stay in that area, the mindset as we're going through. If you eat out quite a bit or you notice that your weight fluctuates quite a bit, I want you to focus in on where you could be adding the extra sugar. So on your paper, I want you to write down some ideas. But having 80 pounds of added sugar per year is more than what my daughter weighs. I was just asking her what she weighs, and she was saying like 75 or something like that. My daughter is grown up. But you think about that and you look at how much that sugar is, and it starts becoming more realistic once you start opening up your eyes. So holistically, we're going to really venture into some new avenues and approaches to be able to help your food taste even more, I guess, better and sweeter by focusing in on what's really important to us. So we're trying to rid our body of sugar. The average person consumes 80 grams of sugar per day. 80 grams of sugar. And if you were to ask me how many grams of sugar should I be having for the day, I would say about 15 grams. And then when you know that and you start reviewing that, you realize how difficult that really is. How difficult is that to keep that 15 grams in check? And just having one soda, if you're having a soda for the day, to have a mocha, to have spaghetti sauce if you're having spaghetti, and starting to look at things differently than you have in the past. Does that mean that we're consuming over 400 calories a day? It sure does. Actually, maybe even more. Depends on how big and massive your sugar is, but it can add up to quite a bit. So what would happen if you pulled out 400 calories a day in your plan? So looking at what you're eating per day and you're saying, well, why am I not losing weight? This is what's going to answer your question is, how much sugar are you consuming? And then what is happening for how many calories you're having? And so I don't like to really talk too much about calories because it's not just all about the calories. And we're going to talk about that as we start looking at your plate. And that's going to be one of the slides that we're going to discuss. And when we look at the average of what we've been having worldwide in sugar, it started off pretty low. We were consuming in total 154 million, and which is actually in tons, all the way up to 173 billion. So it's almost like 20 million tons of sugar we've added into our diet from 2010 to 2016. And this is the latest stat that I have here. I was looking for it today. So it's about 6 years we've increased how much we're consuming. And I know that Starbucks is real popular and different coffee drinks, and that could be it. But then it's just that our body gets off and then it craves more and craves more stuff. So sugar is like our latest drug, if you want to see it that way. So this is your workbook. Make sure that you have it. If not, just get ready to write and add what you need to get yourself motivated. And I'll guide you as you go along. So I want to know the why you are here, because there's many reasons that are happening in our family, to what we're dealing with in our medical numbers, to just how we feel. And we feel this a lot in the middle of the night. If we wake up in the middle of the night, we'll find that we start thinking about the things that really stress us out. And sometimes it's because our body's doing some really odd things and we're concerned about going towards diabetes. It might be that you have heart issues in the family. So the biggest thing today, what I want you to focus in on is, what is your motivation? Because by the time we're done in implementing our strategies, I want you to come back to here and start thinking about what is the reason that you are here and how are you going to keep yourself motivated. So I got you in this area. I'm going to help you get your focus and stay motivated so that you can get to the end of this 1 hour with me, and so that you can get into action. So let's take a moment here. I really like Tony Robbins because he is another coach that's been out there for years and has extreme motivational skills to be able to help you stay focused. And so he says, no matter how many mistakes you make or how slow your progress, you're still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. So think of where you are today and how you are going to be making your changes once you leave this call. No matter how quick it is for the first week as you're going through your process this week, I want you to take a step back and remember where you started before you even got into this call today. It's going to be massive. So what are we going to be learning today, and how to lose 10 pounds this month, even if you failed in the past? We're going to learn how to see yourself holistically, and I'll get in deeper. There's 3 areas I'm going to talk about there. In this area, we're going to talk about how to choose a high converting energy food. And the food is not about the calories. We're going to talk about the quality. So when we're talking holistically, we're starting to step away from the old diet fads and looking at the calories, but looking at holistically. What does the food look like? Is it looking vibrant? And what type of foods? And I'll give you a list. Also, how to choose a high converting energy mental strategy. You know how we get down on ourselves? Well, today, I got you in this area also. We're going to talk about How are you going to shift forward? And one of the biggest sabotages that I see my clients have, and I would say probably most of my clients, what are they dealing with? We're going to go into them. We're going to go in deep. Also, I'm going to give you the golden rules of implementing strategies. So the strategies that we're going to implement, before we even implement them, I'm going to set up the golden rules that you need to strategically keep with you this whole week, and through the whole month, we're going to revisit this to keep you focused. In the second stage, we're going to learn the pre-weight planning success. Now, this is where we lose a lot of the momentum because we don't do any planning. So today, with me right here, I'm going to keep you motivated, and we're going to be doing some planning. And we're going to be doing this planning because I would say this is the 100% reason that we can pinpoint when we go back. If there's been a goal that we have failed, it's because we forgot to plan. So we're going to set you up today for planning. So the Ultra Plate Plan formula. So I'm going to build your plate for you today. So we're going to talk about the top 10 foods that you need to eat. I'm going to have you implement that within your plate. So be ready to get into action. Also, I'm going to go into the ultra specific mental clearing plan formula. So we're going to go in there, we're going to mentally clear our head in the direction that we're going so that we have a formula to approach each time we have an area that we're stuck or that we're getting ready to eat and we're making the right choices. In stage 3, I'm going to be implementing your strategies. So this is where we get into action. This is where the energy starts. And this is where we culminate everything together. And it is showtime. This is where we're going to really step in. So we're about 25% into our hour. And this is where the action starts happening. In this area, we're going to find the 5-point plan that's going to be for weight loss. I'm going to give you a checklist that you need to keep with you as your weight loss checklist. Also, let's do some celebration. This is where we forget to really take a step back, focus on what our results are, and we need to plan when we're going to celebrate. Because as we go through stage 1, 2, then stage 3, we need to make sure that as we're implementing this process through our week coming up, that we have spots in there where we're celebrating, because celebrating is our no-fail plan. Take a moment, take a step back, take a deep breath. I want you to inhale, open up the arms, and just be free for this hour. And we're going to move that forward for the month. Take a big inhale and think about the possibilities. Do a clear, meditative inhale, focused breath. Sit up tall in your sitting bones and get your focus. Okay, so have you already turned everything off? Are you ready to focus? Then I want to go into this, and this is going to be a thread into my story, but these are the questions that I asked you within your workbook, and I'm going to bring it back to you and why you want to be answering these questions too, and how it's going to move you forward so we can go through the stages 1 through 3. So did I ask you questions before you came in today? Did you answer them, and were you able to think about it? If not, get ready for your pencil and take some notes. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you have sugar in your diet? At the beginning, we were talking about how much sugar we're consuming, and then you wrote a list. The list was, where are you finding your hidden sugars? And the basic question would be, you want to answer this because if your weight is fluctuating back and forth, or you're finding that you're consuming sugar time and time again, and you're having those sugar binges. And where are you getting that sugar? Is it also from drinks? So this question, I wish I would have asked myself years ago, because I am a person that used to do the old way of dieting, look at the calories, and know that everything was okay. And what I'm going to step into on the next slide is I want you to be aware of the reason why we don't want to just count calories. When I started my journey on holistically trying to listen to my body, I had a lot of dysfunction going on, and we're going to step into that in a moment. That will help you see yourself also. But my answer for this was that on a scale from 1 to 10, I was as low as it could be. And even having sugar on my radar that I needed to even quit sugar. I thought, well, if I was slender enough and my metabolism was working as hard as it should be at my age, whatever age that was, because in my mind, I believed that at this age, I should be consuming this many calories, my body should look like this, and I always equated it with age, which has changed. Now I believe that you can have the body that you want based on what your strategies are. And today is the day where you're going to start envisioning what body do you want to stay in? And what body do you want to make sure that doesn't fluctuate with weight going back and forth? And I missed this when I first started my journey. I used to eat everything sugar from the time I got up to the time I went to bed, and it was something that consumed every meal that I had, that there had to be sugar in there because it had to be sweet. Things were boring. I didn't want boring things. And I thought of fresh fruits and vegetables as boring because they were bitter, they were boring. I had to have it, so I'd have a little bit on my plate at dinner time. And it got me lost in what was really happening for my body, because I started finding that when I'd wake up in the middle of the night, that my heart would be racing, or that I would be extra hot. And I didn't think about that. I was just concerned, but I didn't understand how to ask those questions. And so when I started looking at my scale of 1 to 10, I realized that I never really took into account all the different foods I was eating or I was not eating. And so what I started doing is counting how much sugar grams that I was eating per day. And I was up there with everybody else, and I was eating tons and tons of sugar. I was part of the stat that I showed you earlier. And right now, I even have clients that are in this situation where they'll come to me and they'll say, oh, I'm losing 8 pounds a week. Because I have some clients that have quite a few pounds to lose. And then I have other clients that, they're on their last 10 pounds. And so they're losing, a pound here and there, and they're very happy about it. So the why you want to know how much sugar you're consuming from 1 to 10 is because I have big concerns, and it doesn't have to do with weight loss, but it has to do with losing weight, and you still have the symptoms that you had before. And they may not be on as big of a scale, but you're finding that you are still having the heart palpitations, or that you're still finding that your moods are fluctuating, and the list can go on. And what happens is, if you don't see yourself as a holistic being, and that you're just putting in food so you can lose the weight and you want to look as good as you can, you're missing a big process here, because we want to make sure that we are not dealing with having concerns about cancer, not having concerns about diabetes or having a heart attack. So even if you're losing weight, the best test to do without going and going to the doctor and getting your blood drawn constantly is testing yourself to see if you are acidic or if you're an alkaline. We're not going to go deep into that today, but when your body is acidic, it means that you're consuming lots of popcorn because you think that popcorn is going to help you lose weight, because that's just a food that you can eat and you don't have to worry about dinner, or that could be a perfect snack. But that becomes sugar in your body, and it's one of the highest sugar translations in your body that brings you into high acidity. If you're highly acidic, it means that your cells are not able to do what they need to do and cleanse themselves. And so the why is that you want to get yourself into alkaline. So even if you've already lost a few pounds, that once you get your body into that area where you're having enough vegetables, now I'll revisit the area of the top 10 foods you're going to need to start off your week, plus what your plate should look like. But the more that you implement that, you're automatically going to lose weight. And you're not going to be worried about numbers when it comes to how many calories you're having per day. But you're going to be looking at your food in a new way, and you're going to know that you have everything encompassed with your health when it comes to getting your body into alkaline. You want your body into alkaline because you cannot be sick when your body's in alkaline. And so it's a very hard strategy to do. We're working, and we're going to get there, because that's where I go when I'm fully on 100% of what I'm teaching you right now. So the first thing is We want you to lose 10 pounds this month, but we want you to lose it in an alkaline way. So that is what was confusing for me. So another area is that you have the confidence that you can get results just like others. So if you're finding that others are out there and you saw this in your workbook and you're reading it and you are filling it out, the question goes bigger than this. But if you are seeing other people lose weight and you're feeling like you're admiring them in a way that's a very negative way. I have a client that tells me that so and so are taking these supplement pills and they're losing tons of weight. They've already lost 50 pounds and I want to lose that weight. I'm so upset. And we always have to redirect and say, well, why are you feeling jealous? Like, what is going on? And the biggest thing is our confidence in ourselves and our confidence that we need to have a better connection with food. And that if we take a pill or we're doing all just drinks and shakes and not connecting ourselves with food, where are we getting ourselves? What's going to happen when we're in our 70s and 80s and 90s? How are we going to get there and make our body feel and look vibrant? It's building the confidence within the plan. So when I was dealing with eating a lot of sugar, I had a lot of mind stuff that was going on where I felt overwhelmed and tired because I wasn't eating right for myself. I didn't realize also that my thyroid was having problems because I ended up having to take medicine because I was hypothyroid. My metabolism started shutting down. And I didn't listen to any of the symptoms before that. I was really scared, confused, but I didn't have the confidence to stop and listen to myself. I was a very exterior person and believing that my wall would protect me instead of breaking down that wall and start listening to myself and start listening to other people and the results that they were getting based on them seeing themselves differently than looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, oh, I'm fat. So I used to do that all the time. I used to look at myself and believe that I could never look any better than I looked at that point, and I'd still look at myself and say, I look fat, I'm ugly, or I'm not, I can't go any further than this because I've never been able to lose my last 10 pounds. And there was a lot of confidence that really stopped me in here. So I want you to answer that question. Do you have the confidence that you can get results just like others? And we're going to address that in one of the stages. And I was stuck in my story. So in the story I was telling you, did you hear that I was saying that, I never been able to lose my last 10 pounds, or I can never look like that. And we get in the physicality of what we're looking like instead of trying to heal from the inside out. And that means your mental game, and it also means the foods that you're eating and being connected with. Sometimes we hurt ourselves with the foods that we're choosing, and we're not really thinking about that because we're just adding the calories up, or we're not looking at the results internally. So I want you to think about what your story is and where do you feel stuck and where's the confidence to move forward in your strategies. So everything bad always happened to me. This is one of the things that really was hard for me because anytime that I got myself in situations that something bad would happen, I would say, you know what, I'm just like that person. Nothing ever good happens to me. And I started really manifesting things in my head, and I'd always see things in a negative way. And every time that something good would happen, for some reason, when you have this mindset, you can't open yourself up to all the good stuff that's happened up to the point that something bad has happened. So it's what's going to grow based on what we're focused on. And the more that you can think about this, and if you're stuck in this area, I'm going to be addressing that in one of the stages so we can help you move forward. And if you find that you fall in this stage, I'm going to give you some steps to take back so you can start thinking about how to transition that, because right here, this is where we get stuck. This is what's going to stop us moving forward, because after this month, where are we going to go from there? We're just going to keep moving forward. We're going to do a maintenance plan, or we're going to keep moving forward so that we keep losing the weight to where we know that we're taking care of ourselves and also keeping ourselves into alkaline. So I had to change my story. And today, you may be at that point where you need to too. The other question that I asked was, what do you already know And the question was bigger within the book. But what do you already know? What do you already know about yourself? Have you started thinking about things that you know that your weaknesses are and how you need to strategize to resolve this issue? And these are deep questions. So it depends on where you are today and where you're going to, how deep you're going to go today. And that's okay, because no matter what, the Tony Robbins quote that I shared with you is that any little step forward is going to exponentially move you as time goes on. And our mental game is so important because we want to be emotionally mature so that we keep seeing ourselves become even a clearer thinker, a person that knows ourselves so much better, a person that we know holistically if we are in situations that we're not feeling good, that we know what type of reaction is going to happen for us and how we can resolve those issues so that we don't react in a way that doesn't make us feel positive about ourselves. We start getting in deeper so that we can consistently feel good and nothing bounces us left and right to where we start sabotaging ourselves. And I'll talk about one of the sabotages in stage 1. I didn't know how to listen to myself. I kept myself with a wall up. And when I started having symptoms where I was having pains in my chest, I was having hot, cold flashes. And this is when I was in my 20s. I was having these issues. So this is actually a call to hormones are off. So it doesn't just happen in your 40s. It doesn't just happen when you're in your teenage years and you're going through puberty. But any time that your hormones are off, things are going to happen. And this is where sickness starts sitting in. And I didn't know how to listen to myself because these tools is far from what I was raised with. And I didn't have any friends that were really involved in any of this holistic stuff. But the most interesting thing is that if anybody ever said anything to me of the stuff that I'm sharing with you today, I would say this is hogwash. I would not be interested at all. But it has exponentially moved me forward in my health and being able to lose weight. And I know if I go out and I have something with a specific food that I know makes me gain weight really fast, that I know that I'm stepping into something and I'm doing that to myself. And sometimes I do that. If I'm in a party celebration, if I'm spending time with Jacob and Kirsten, my kids, or with family, and we're doing something, and I go, okay, well, next week I'm going to be feeling overweight, but I have time to fix that because I know what this is. So you don't have to be a stickler. This does not mean that we are going to not be implementing a perfect plan here, and you don't have any deviation, because deviation is really important because that's part of being human. And I don't want you to feel confused, and I know at that point I did. So this is going to be your knowledge hour, and this is where you're going to take a refresh look through the 3 stages that we're going to talk about. And it's going to take a mind shift, because whatever you know now, let's implement some new things here. So what would you do to get results and have a breakthrough to energetically open up the body? Because right now, the body is stuck. So what would you do to get that moving forward? And how deep are you ready to holistically start looking at your body? Let's find out. So where do we start? How to lose 10 pounds this month, even if you have failed in the past. And how are we going to make sure that we nurture our body, because our body is perfect and it's beautiful in every way. No matter what stretch marks you have, loose skin, to a belly you may have, to a pain that you may have, that your body is doing this to take care of yourself. And as you start nurturing and healing within the inside, the more beautiful the exterior part of your body and how you're going to carry yourself and how you feel about yourself. So let's go to stage 1. Learn how to see yourself holistically. I want you to shake out your hands. I want you to have your pen and pencil ready. And did you hear I just put my pencil down too? I'm writing with you, along with you here. But I want you to be focused and ready to go, because I'm going to relax. I'm going to go through things and I'm going to explain stuff. But here starts your plan. We're stepping in right now. And this is the plan that you're going to be implementing this week. And why you want to implement this is because I have tons of success stories of people implementing basic strategies to start off with to get big results. to lose 10 pounds this month. This is how fast that we're gonna get this action moving. Our first area is how to choose a high converting energy food. So my question for you right now, and it's a basic question, let's don't get in too deep because we're going to add on each week. But today, I want to know, and I want you to write down, where is your lowest part of energy of the day? Where is your lowest part of energy for the day? And if you've been on my weekly calls, this will be a quick answer for you. A quick question that you can answer. You can answer it right away. If you haven't thought about this, I want you to step into how your day goes. And do you have like that 3 p.m. slump? Or do you have something that happens where maybe you should be having a snack around 10 or 11 o'clock? But where is that energy low? Basic question. Let's don't go in too deep. And let's start building here. Wherever you have your energy low, this is what I want you to add in. One of these foods. So you see how this is the top 10 of the foods that are going to get your body out of acidity and into alkaline. When we first started the hour, I was talking about how important this is to get your body into alkaline, because we're not just doing weight loss for weight loss. We're healing our body, and the more that you heal your body, within a few days, your body can be in alkaline. If you have some really heavy stuck areas and it's been a while since your body has shifted, it'll take about a week to get your body into alkaline. But you can add spinach, artichoke, Brussels sprouts, cucumbers, carrots, broccoli, asparagus, mangoes, papayas, and pears. And the reasons why you may not have added, oh, it says papyrus. You know, I need to change that. It's papayas. Sorry about that. But papayas, cucumbers, carrots, most of the stuff here, I'm sorry, some of the stuff here we wouldn't add because we were so concerned about, specific diets telling us that we should not be eating certain things. But this is all about vibrant food, about having different colors on your plate, about changing things up. So where's your lowest energy in your day? What's the number one food you're going to add here? This is one of the foods you're going to be adding to your plate. Okay, so see how we're moving forward and we're building this. Next section of stage 1, how to choose a high converting energy mental strategy. So next section, we're pulling out away from the food, and now we're going right into your energy mental strategy. So I want you to use this thing called neuroplasticity. And I want to bring it back to the first question I asked you before you even came here, that was in your workbook, and the confidence that you may have within yourself to move yourself forward. Neurobrain plasticity, I'll give you the definition, is when we know as humans now that all the research that's been happening with the brain, that we can rewire our brain. And we know that just from studies on when people start adding more reading to doing, puzzles, to doing, going for walks during the day, and how even working out will rebuild certain areas in your brain. I want you to believe in yourself and trust that you're going to be making these changes and that you're going to be losing your 10 pounds. There's no question about it. Nothing's going to stop you. And that as you start building this plan, that you're going to really step in and start changing and shifting the way your mental plan is. Because I want you through this week pulling out the word I can't, or I am not able to. And I want you to write that down right now. Anything that has to do with I can't or I won't, I want you to take a step back and start thinking about, is there something that makes you nervous because it's new? Or is it something that I can't do this or that because you're feeling that you just can't? In the past, you've never been able to. I've never been able to lose that last 10 pounds, which was my story. What's your I can't? Write it down, and that you are going to say hogwash, get that out of your whole entire repertoire of words. But this is the biggest sabotage, and this is the one that you're going to change, and this is the one you need to change right now. And that's going to make a big difference for you. All right, so the golden rules for implementing strategy. So this is still in your stage 1, third section. And I want you to think about the mindset and the question we asked at the top: what would you do if you were going to be making these big changes? How much momentum do you have going now? And are you believing that you are able to do this moving forward? So what would you do to get the results that you are yearning for and the changes that you are ready to make? And I want you to think about holding your promise to yourself, because we talked about confidence. And once we start promising stuff that we're going to make changes and we don't hold ourselves to it, that promise affects the way our brain works. And we have this fight going back and forth from that you're promising yourself something to feeling like you need the sugar and the extra calories that you've been feeling like you've needed all these years, or, depending on, since you were a child, depending on what that is, that you have this fight going on in your brain that is, I know you should not be doing this. And if you don't eat these foods, all this good stuff and wonderful stuff's going to happen. And that's when we feel really good. And then when we break our promise, it's the other thing is like, oh, you're so bad. I can't believe that you ate that food. I can't believe you shouldn't have done that. And becomes the trauma of really stepping in and eating foods that you already know you shouldn't be. And then there's a fight within the brain. It makes you exhausted and makes you stop in the good stage of getting results. And this will personally affect you. This is going to personally affect how you view yourself. And you're going to notice as you lose weight and you start aligning yourself up, that the confidence really steps in fully once you align yourself. All right, so you got stage one. You have what food you're going to implement. You're going to have the word I can't come out of just totally out of your whole week, and you're not going to be saying it. And if you catch yourself, you stop yourself and say, I am not going to do that anymore. So how to lose 10 pounds this month, even if you failed in the past. This is your stage two. Learn the pre-weight planning success and the ultra plate plan formula. Are you ready? This is going to be basic. We're going to really throw it in together. Okay, so this is your plate. We have 4 quadrants here. And I want you to put something in your plate that's going to be sweet and nourishing and wholesome. So it could be grapes, it could be grapefruit, it could be anything, but within your first quadrant, you see it's not the biggest part. Then we're going to build it here. I want you to add your meat or your protein of seeds here, depending on if you're vegan or if you eat meat, and make sure your meat is clean as you can afford right now. So that is, see how small that quadrant is? So that's about the size of your hand. Then this is a grain, this is quinoa, and this is fresh and clean. You can add vegetables within that to add even more vegetables. But I want you to add something that's going to give you a filler. And quinoa or black rice or red rice or brown rice, all that is going to help fill up your body and make you feel good. And it's going to give you the extra fiber that you need to lose the weight and to get your body into alkaline. Also, I want you to add herb. You can add rosemary, you can add oregano, but any fresh herb that you can find that you like. And once you add that in, it helps with your circulation. It helps with your heart. It helps with the weight loss because it's bringing your body into alkaline. And your next quadrant is going to be a couple colorful vegetables. So by the time you're done, you'll add some vegetables within your rice, most likely, or your grain. And you're going to have a couple different vegetables here, but I want you to have different colors on your plate. And this is your plate plan. Let's go into the next stage of how to lose 10 pounds even if you failed in the past. And it's called the Ultra Specific Mental Clearing Plan Formula. So each time that you're ready to go in and you're ready to eat or you're ready to do something and you realize you don't have the energy, well, you need to find the motivation, the momentum. And so I want you to give yourself a break, a couple minutes of breathing. You can call it meditation. You can call it meditative breathing. You can call it a timeout for yourself. You can even, if you have that space to even lay down for 2 minutes, it'll give you a reset where your body will consistently soar with energy. And I want you to be in that area of what you asked for the first time we started answering question is, where is your energy low? This may be an addition where you want to add a step back where you take in the breathing. And this is going to clear your mind, so that you eat the right foods and you choose the right foods. This is going to keep your body focused and centered where you need to get the results. All right, so we're in stage 3, which is perfect because we're getting close to being done with this hour. So you see how we're building for this week. Now, this is the coaching that's around it. Once you leave this call, you're going to need to stay focused. And so when we go through the stage 3, I want you to listen to the last part of stage 3, because this is what's going to culminate the whole 3 stages together. And this is where you're going to keep yourself with momentum. So I want to give you the 5-point weight loss prepared checklist. Are you ready? I want you to use your calendar. So if there's shopping that you need to do because you don't have the vegetable or the fruit that you decide that you're going to add in on your plate, I want you to put it on your calendar. If you decide that your lowest low is, at 11 o'clock and you need to get yourself out there and go for a walk, and you just know that that's going to be something that's going to help you get through this week, add it to your calendar. Also, I want you to have, number 2, a reminder layout. So if you are going to be going to the store and buying a vegetable, I want you to write on a big piece of paper the vegetable that you need to get, or a timer that says you need to go shopping, you need to buy this. If it's a workout, I want you to get your clothes and have them out for you so that you're ready to put them on and get ready and get out there and do your walk, do your whatever kind of workout that you do. Also, I want you to be on step 3 with no falling into your sabotages. You can do this. Get back into your confidence. When you find yourself not feeling confident, it may be because you're making new changes this week. And it's hard because if you want to be reaching for the extra sugar, you're going to find that you're going to have that feeling, kind of like a shakiness, that you're going to be questioning if you can handle this. So I want you to do a screenshot of this or write these down, but I don't want you to fall into that sabotage that you can do this, not that I can't. Also, number 4, that you don't get lost in your plate, that you look at your quadrants and that you have already taken notes on how your plate should look. And then also that I want you to journal. The more that you journal your food, or the more that you journal your emotions, the more you're going to be aware. So step into journaling to be able to document how you're feeling. What did you successfully do for the day? What are your struggles? What's the food that you ate today? What are you happy with that you ate? And the list goes on. So you have your 5 no-fail plan into being successful in being able to move forward and feeling like you can successfully implement. Now, the last part is celebration. So this is one of the biggest things that I would not allow myself to do through my personal journey. And I'm wondering if you are in this stage too. So when you're celebrating that you lost a pound. You're celebrating that your finger doesn't ache because it always aches. I have a client that every time that she has dairy, that her finger, there's a spot in her finger that dries. So she has a specific spot, which is actually her liver alignment, and that her spot is from dairy, and she knows. And it's because it'll dry, it'll heal itself, and then as soon as she has dairy, her belly bloats up, which usually means that your liver is struggling a bit, and there's more in depth holistically we can talk about in that arena, which we won't today. But it's within her liver meridian, plus she has that dry spot because her body's saying, I do not want, this in my body. So every time that her finger clears up, she's like, okay, I need to celebrate because I've been so good for myself. And the celebration isn't going out and doing something like eating something that you shouldn't be. The celebration is that you take a step back and you say, you look at, your journaling, you look at the results that you've gotten, you look at the information that you documented today, and you go, I am so proud of myself, and you keep moving forward. And you also keep that Tony Robbins focus that each time that you even take a step back, it's not this is not a no-fail 100% plan. It means you're going to fail a little bit here and there, but the no-fail plan means that you're going to keep moving forward. You're not going to go back to where you started today, and I want you to document it. Celebrate it. Do your happy dance. Get in there and move your arms and shake it out because stage 3 is important. This is where we get lost in our whole journey. And if we don't stop and look at ourselves, and we just look at ourselves that we're fat, or that we're, people even say that they're ugly, and I all this stuff just really hurts to even hear this stuff, but they forget to stop and look at the things that did them in a way that moved them forward. So remember what I said about how we feel like everything bad happens to us and we start looking at ourselves in a negative way and that nothing good can happen for us? Well, that's where this comes in. You can't celebrate unless you really focus in on how important this is and how not all these bad things happen to you, but that actually good things are happening to you. And the more that you stay focused in that, the more it's going to grow, and the more you'll want to do your happy dance, and the more you're going to get out of what you're doing. Because we see ourselves mentally now and how we're going to emotionally mature as we keep growing with the plan. So are you ready to get into action? Today I'm going to give you a real quick bonus here. I know that you're going to be struggling with sugar, so I want you to be making some drinks that may help you. Get in at the papaya, which is really sweet, in with some alkaline stuff that we saw with cucumber. Do some almond milk with some protein, and maybe do some chia seeds, a quick little drink. If you're noticing that you are eating candy, I want you to go straight into your fruits. White rice, let's don't change that, exchange that as sugar into our system, which white rice has no fiber to it. So I want you to go into a grain. So see the easy swaps here? Make sure you're taking notes. All right, so I want you to stay focused in unleashing the healing that's lying dormant in you. We're going from inside out. We've talked about acidic and alkaline within our body and how we're going to get ourselves into alkaline. And we're going to focus in on how to get ourselves breaking free of higher energy. So are you ready to restore balance on all levels of your body, mind, and spirit? The spirit is definitely connected with the mind, and the mind is connected with the changes that are going to happen within the body. And you've come to the right place, because nothing I've shared with you is theory, and that your personal energy plan that we've talked about is here and now. We've already done stages 1, stage 2, and 3. So today we're stepping into something new, and I want you to know that everything I shared with you, that it's attainable. We're not doing big, massive changes, and this can make you feel uncomfortable. I know that when people first come in and start working with me, right away they want to feel like they have to do these massive changes to get to the extra special stuff, which it's not true. But I want you to know that the resources and the tools that I gave you today, that you're going to be getting little changes, and it's going to build and build as it goes along. We don't want to have this big massive change in our diet, because if we do that and we look forward to doing that for the rest of our life, you're just going to be on a diet and you're going to be failing yourself left and right. So the stuff that I've taught you is the beginning of the process of learning what my signature strategy is, that people get big results. And this is going to work for you because it's worked for others. This is why I've been doing this for years and documenting and having people do videos and, you know, and sending me success stories, is because we want to know, like, how are these people having success stories, and how are they leaving the old mindset to growing into being even a deeper, stronger person than they were before they started doing these strategies. So the obvious question is, how do you get results now that you've tried in the past? And are you going to keep it complicated and confusing, or simple and structured? So here's how I can help you. We're going to talk about energy unleashed, and the stuff that I taught you through the step stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. Energy unleashed is that and more. This is a 4-month plan, and this is going to be me helping and guiding you as your coach. And there's going to be live calls. We're not starting till March. So you have your 3 stages that you can do today. Start getting yourself prepared and step into energy unleashed. And let me tell you what that is. It's a focus of losing weight, and especially belly fat. You know, when you start losing belly fat, you know you're doing it in the right way, and that's the alkaline way. And that energy is your no-fail plan, because the higher your energy is, the more positive you're going to think. And that's why this program is called Energy Unleashed. And it is a way for you to learn how to reset your blood sugar. Because everything that we eat, if we're not having enough fiber, it's going to translate into us struggling with sugar levels. And a third of our population right now is struggling with diabetes, pre-diabetes, and people who have not even been diagnosed with diabetes. And this is where you want to start thinking about physical stuff that's happening for you. What's the stuff that wakes you up in the middle of the night? This Energy Unleashed plan is going to help guide you in a deeper way, where you're going to be able to reset your hormones. So no matter what stage you're in, if you have hot and cold flashes that are going on, if you're feeling that you have pains in certain areas of your body, or that your food is not digesting right because your belly is getting bigger and bigger and you don't know why, let's go straight in here and reset the hormones. And we're going to do that through learning about where you're stuck in certain areas. And we're going to start talking holistically even deeper about your body, so we can look to see the signs of things that are happening, so you can get into a deeper food plan for yourself. And within 2 weeks, you're going to be getting big results. And this is what's happened for a lot of people within just a couple of weeks working with me. That they've lost 12 pounds, they've lost inches off their hips, that their blood sugar has balanced so that their vision is clear, and that their liver has been clearer than it has in the past, because the liver is the connection with the eyes also. And then if you have too much sugar, you have extra mucus, and so you learn how to cleanse your sinuses if you have sinus problems. And you know what, with sinus stuff, that's usually that you're having problems with your lower digestive tract. You're going to learn all this in Energy Unleashed. And you need to know this stuff so that you can learn how to diagnose what's going on for yourself, instead of racing to the doctor each time something is going on. You're going to use your doctor along with this plan too. Get your blood stuff and see your stuff change as you go into Energy Unleashed. You're also going to have a 50-page food power book that's going to help you get through. Your first module is going to be broken down into different sections that are going to help you, so you can diagnose and prevent future conditions without blood tests, x-rays, or invasive procedures. It's going to help you focus in on what is your struggle, what's been happening for yourself over the years. And you're going to stop questioning and being afraid of your health, but you're going to learn how to be in more control. You're going to learn about organ meridians. You're going to learn how everything circulates in your body, and you're going to focus in on the stuff that helps you declog your system. And as you declog maybe your liver meridian, you're going to learn that maybe you're clogged in other areas. So you're going to slowly learn how to declog the body, so you have energy throughout the whole day. You think positive, because when your body is stuck, your mind gets stuck. If your bladder and your kidneys are struggling, your mind is going to have a little bit of anxiety. Your mind is going to feel a little anxiousness about the day, and it's just the way the brain works. And so we're going in deep holistically. We're going to go in deeper. Today I talked to you about the word I can't, the phrase I can't, and how we're going to focus in on that for this week. We're going to go in deeper on the 10 sabotages, and we're going to do exercises to truly holistically get your mental balance. So if you find that you're dealing with anxiety, that you're dealing with concerns about things in your life, or not having control over certain things, this is the section that's going to massively change and mature you mentally, so that you can keep growing emotionally and get away from the old stuff that's been bothering you maybe for your whole entire life. You're going to get emails and videos that will give you the mind strategies and Energy Unleashed game to full success. You're going to have all the tools, 4 months of being able to really focus in and learn. You're going to learn what successful daily ritual works for you, because how you start your morning, how you start your breakfast, if you start your workouts in the morning, all of that affects how you feel about your day and how you build and grow to be the person that you know you want to be. We're going to be talking about your chakras, and the chakras are related with your emotional alignment, also related with your hormones. So it's aligning yourself. So if you're not a person that's into the holistic world, that's the best way I can explain it to you. But you'll go in deeper holistically, and you'll learn about if you say something negative, how that affects your body. Do you feel negative inside? Where's that negative feeling sit? If somebody says something negative to you, well, where's that negative vibe fit and sit in your body? And the list goes on. It might be your heart, where your heart hurts because somebody's being mean. It might be your throat, because you're feeling like you want to say something when somebody says something mean, or you think that they're not being very nice. So you start listening to yourself, and the chakras help you with that so that you can get more into alignment. Also, you get a membership in a private Facebook group to help you stay focused, to get the latest articles that are going to help your mental game stay in alignment. You're going to get one-on-one email support where if you send me an email within 24 hours, me or my assistant will be able to get back to you and answer your question. There's so much more within this group. And so to get these types of results right away and to keep yourself moving forward, I want you to go to rhondaliebig.com/fit with a double T hyphen camp. And you'll see it right there in the bottom. So what are your steps? If you're ready to make massive changes, and if you're ready to step away from the old anxiety, the old stress, the old weight gain that keeps coming back, I want you to hit this button and say, I'm ready to sign in. You're going to go to rhondaliebig.com/fit with a double T camp. I want you to sign up. The time starts March 1st, and you'll get more information as you step in. Is this plan for you? The stuff that you learned today, are you ready to implement and start your strategies now and be ready for March 1st? I would love to see you on the other side. If this is a plan for you, go to rhondaliebig.com/fit-camp. We're going to get you moving forward. We're going to get the excitement, momentum going, and I'll see you next Tuesday. If you sign up today for the Energy Unleashed, I'll even send you more information today on that. You have an insightful day. Catch up with you next week or sooner.